Hello, good day, my esteemed viewers. This is Extreme News TV. Mr. Rap Ubechi, let us look at the situation involving Biafra agitation, all the gladiators, talking about Ekpa, talking about Nnamdi Kanu. We understand that Nnamdi Kanu have been under incarceration of DSS, in spite of the fact that it has been established by Appeal Court in Nigeria that he was extraordinary rendition for Kenya to Nigeria. And in spite of the fact that UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention have advised the Nigerian government to let the man go. We shall look at Ekpa's issue, but let us start from there. Why is it prolonging like this? Is it because he's an Igbo man?
Yes, because Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo man, and before Tinubu, assumed office in 2023, Igbo nation, people from Igbo nationalities are on their wanted list. Blacklisted Igbo. That's why Tinubu could not obey the appeal court that set Nnamdi Kanu free. And I would like everybody around the world to understand that it was the same business that Igbo was doing, arrested, incarcerated as well, that Nnamdi Kanu is doing as well. And presently we can see a Tinubu administration that has actually embraced their own and left another person's own. You know what I'm trying to say? Igbo is from Yoruba extraction, Nnamdi Kanu is from Igbo extraction. Igbo was the same, on the same agitation business or transaction Nnamdi Kanu was, doing. And Igbo was apprehended in Cotonou. And in all Yoruba nation, they started boiling up, going to Benin Republic, giving their, soliciting for Igbo to do what? To be free. And today, we see two of them, Nnamdi Kanu inside, Igbo was inside since Buhari administration. Buhari administration has turned their back on both. To be sincere, yes, and frank, it was obvious that Buhari abandoned the land inside prison. Buhari abandoned the Igbo inside prison. But both were incarcerated.
But do you foresee a political solution to Nnamdi Kanu's travel? Because we have seen a situation where the likes of Senator Igbos.Zoo left his colleague the other time to meet with the Attorney General Federation to push for Nnamdi Kanu's release in what looked like looking for a political solution.
The best amiable friend Nnamdi Kanu is enjoying right now is Engineer Abaribe. In the past, I could remember so vividly in 2015-16, Engineer Abaribe went for the first time Nnamdi Kanu was arrested during Buhari administration. He stood as a shorty. That was Engineer Abaribe then.
And he staked 100 million naira.
Yes, 100 million naira as a shorty. Landed properties, houses, and so on and so forth. Engineer provided all these chotties and stood for Nnamdi Kanu, who was then set free. Yes, and when Nnamdi Kanu was set free, his case was pending. That case has not finished yet. Buhari rolled out tank with young military officers going to where these numbers of soldiers they go. As Fela said, that early in the morning, they were walking towards southeastern Nigeria. They crossed the Niger Bridge. People were watching on social media. The Igbos at Asaba, the Igbos at Onitsha, the Igbos at Nnewi, at the Sandoka Road. They were asking themselves, where these number of soldiers they go? It was what? They were marching towards Abia State, Aheruku community, where Nnamdi Kanu's, biological father is from. They were marching towards Afiaruku. Before you know it, on the palace of Nnamdi Kanu's palace compound, they entered. They started their military onslaught. It took them how many hours? They made sure that 38 boys, loyalists to Nnamdi Kanu, innocent children, innocent Igbo youths, were shot to death on that compound. And then Nnamdi Kanu escaped death by whiskers because his dog was disallowed. It was at the mercy of the Niger Delta militants. It was at the mercy of Ikonso, the late Ikonso, that Nnamdi was able to huddle the fence and jump into Azumili, from where Nnamdi Kanu escaped into Kenya. He stayed like 12 months in Kenya before he could, we could, begin to sight him. His first sighting was in Kenya, from Ghana, from Ghana to where? Israel. Wailing Wall of Jerusalem, Israel. And he was carrying bruises all over his body. They actually buy Nnamdi, Nigerian military officers under the administration of Buhari. And I'm just trying to tell the whole world that Igbo's business was Nnamdi Kanu, the same business Nnamdi Kanu was doing when apprehended in Nairobi, Kenya. The same business Nnamdi Kanu, Igbo was doing and the two of them both were incarcerated. Buhari turned his back on two of these men. It played out in 2023 that Nigerian Department of Judiciary, Attorney General of the Federation, the CGL, Chief Justice of the Federation of Nigeria, actually did what, if you ask me, not that it has not been going on in Nigeria, but their own rule, their own ruling. The way they manipulated Obi's mandate was so unique that we have never seen such in the history of Nigeria. They gave it to Tinubu. Tinubu now came in. The kind of approach he gave to both men, Igbo and then Nnamdi, actually has made Tinubu the most tribalized president Nigeria has ever had. Because he set Igbo free, living in Nnamdi, an Igbo man, incarcerated. It's now become a general argument even in the lower chamber and the upper chamber of the legislature that Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to be free. All quests, all requests, all calls, every outcry in the house, lower and higher.
But Mr. Ram,
not getting to Aso Rock for Tinubu to free an Igbo man that was incarcerated for good 48 months now.
Let's look at because
and he freed his brother Igbo.
Because as we speak, UN working group on arbitrary detention already asked federal government to allow the Nnamdi Kanu go. Apart from that, looking at the situation of Ekpa in Finland, there is news making the round. Of course, we understand that could be because of the referendum that took place the other time, that over 50 million Biafrans already gave Ekpa the mandate to lead them.
Yeah. He was, voted as the rightful, use the word rightful, not right. The rightful Biafran Prime Minister that is the head of Biafra government outside Nigeria. That is Mr. Simon Ekpa Njoko. And again, let me educate people. Does not mean that Simon Ekpa is the leader of IPOB. No. The government of Biafra in exile, Simon Ekpa is the head right now. And all the 50 million Biafrans that has given this man the mandate or the kudos to carry on, they could never be wrong. One by one, they actually understood the kind of work Simon Ekpa did when Nnamdi Kanu was inside. Nnamdi Kanu is still inside, and it was Simon Ekpa Njoko that has been igniting the fire of Biafra aglow. The fire would have at least died or killed off if someone like a personality like Simon Ekpa is not around in Finland or anywhere in Europe. God is so merciful because at even we don't have somebody like Simon Ekpa. That is how Biafra fire could have been at least gone. But today we see Biafra gaining more popularity day by day since inception of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration since June 2021. And you can see Ekpa is still waxing strong. I read yesterday how the youths over there in Finland were wondering, being serious, burdens to the Finland Prime Minister or President. They want the man to release Simon Ekpa for them. It's obvious that the Finnish citizens are enjoying the commentary. What Simon Ekpa is known best to do on social media. The youth over there, they are enjoying that young man. That's why they are warning the president, their prime minister, the Finnish government to release Simon Ekpa. They are putting pressure to make sure that Simon Ekpa comes out unscathed, unhurt from incarceration in Finland.
There is this argument that since Simon Ekpa's incarceration, that the activities of killer Fulani herdsmen have increased in the eastern part of the country. What is your take?
Thank you so much. That's a good question. That has actually spelled out the much how effective Simon Ekpa's activity was in the past. The people that are labeling Simon Ekpa, Simon Nka, Simon that, Simon this, they've actually seen the benefit, the advantage. I don't know what to understand what Ekpa was doing in the past, and people are still talking and talking. I can tell you now that Fulani headers, perpetrators, they are all over the bush in Igbo land, encroaching on the farmland of Igbo land. Farmers are no longer farming peacefully. If they want to go to farmland in Enugu, Anambra, everywhere, they move with vigilantes. They move in group. Agune Chamber has spread their tentacles into various buches. That is what Soludo has learned to do so lately. Haruna chamber is not only for native doctors and the kidnappers anymore. They are now joining forces with farmers to make sure that those farmers are working peacefully in various farms across farmland across Anambra State. Because what Ekpa has left as duty has now, bring to bring insecurity.
You mean his actions have actually created a vacuum?
He has actually created an indelible vacuum. A vacuum that cannot be filled.
In the fight against insecurity.
I'm telling you, his fight against insecurity in the southeastern Nigeria is second to none. He has actually achieved, tell you, what even the so-called ESN, even the so-called Ebubagu, even the so-called Nigerian police and Nigerian soldiers has never achieved many years ago in Igbo land. Because of his commentary on social media, because of his regime as Biafran Prime Minister operating live in Finland, Fulani herdsmen were on the run in the past. You can't see herdsmen kill or maim. You can never hear in the past that herdsmen raped. I don't know what to understand. In the farmland, no. All those happenings, insecurity, going on in the southeast previously, they stopped. But presently, because of his absence, nobody's hearing about Ekpa again. Nigeria Jail.Is, the Fulani Jail.Is, they actually believe that Ekpa is no more. That's why they are resurrecting, emanating from all angles of Igbo North, Enugu State and Ebonyi. From those roots, they are infiltrating again Igbo lands. The large exodus of the Fulanis from the north exuding into southeast is as a result of Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku's incarceration, unnecessary incarceration in Finland. But what makes me joy, what gives me joy, what is making Biafrans elated right now is that the Finnish citizens, not the Igbos, has actually begun to give serious hit to Finnish government in order to release Simon Ekpa Njoku, for him to gain his own freedom to start the normal business he's known how to do best.
Now, let me take your attention to Katsina State, where communities are already engaging with bandits, or better still, call them Fulani militias, to have negotiation to enable them do their farming activities. Remember that this is not the first time we are seeing this ugly development.
Yeah.
We saw it sometime in Kaduna State under the leadership of Malam El-Rufai as governor of Kaduna State, bandits, when El-Rufai himself said that at a point he paid some Fulani to stop the killing. Are you worried that this is what is coming to the south if care is not taken?
I think it is coming. It is coming actually. I foresee it. I actually speculated it in the past, and gradually it's taking shape. It is taking shape in the sense that Ojozo Kalu, of all people from Igbera axis of Abia State, is an errand boy, is a connivance. I'm sorry to say this to the Fulanis. They are all working hand in hand. Then Nwafulefu of Ebonyi State, the current Ebonyi State governor, has actually, Nwafuru, has actually voted over 500 million to give the Fulanis in Ebonyi State, to give all those deceived Igbos that are Muslims 500 million for Hajj this year. I think they are in Saudi Arabia as we are discussing now. And as I'm talking to you now, the issue you are asking me about taking permission from Fulanis and the bandits in Igbo land as it happened in the north, it has started happening gradually. Because we are giving Fulani bribe in Ebonyi State right away to stop attacking those Eza, Iko, Ichielu farm settlement, where the Ebonyi people, Ebonyi farmers have been settled over the years while, engaging on their normal farming. Today, we've seen how Fulani Janjaweed infiltrated Ebonyi State. They infiltrated Ebonyi State to the level that they have promised them mosque, every community in Ebonyi State, 3 mosques.
Is it another agenda of
agenda of Islamization? Arabic Bank, Arabic University, free education. If you are going to study at Arabic University in Ebonyi State, free education, free feeding for your family. And all these Ebonyi indigenes, they are susceptible to this kind of deception. And they have already started yielding good results to their Fulani sex evangelists, to their Fulani, deceptive masters, it is ongoing, which is why what actually NFI did in Kaduna State by paying kidnappers, by paying Fulani headers before the Kaduna people could go to their farmers, it has started happening in the southeast already. But one thing I know is for sure, one conquest May, if not April, it could be end of this month, Simon Ekpa Njoku must surely come out to continue the business he's known how to do best. No how. Conquest May, we are not going to pay tolls to any Fulani Janja weed or Igbo weed. Fulani Igbo weed. Igbo, that is cannabis. Because these people are bent on at least fulfilling the agenda of their forefathers, Ottoman and Fodo in Igbo land. Igbo land is a place to be, is a place, a region of interest for the Fulani Janja weed, so that their dreams of sex evangelism and the Islamization process, their dream will be fulfilled to them, not for me. As an Igbo man, I turn my back on anything Islam. It can never be my religion. It can never be my tradition. I am not even interested, and I believe that my kinsmen in Anambra State can never go that wrong way.
I was to ask you about the current happenings in the country, a situation where a man in Bauchi flogged the wife to death because the wife did not satisfy his standard for breaking the Ramadan fast. We have seen another situation, of course, in Kano, where his police is enforcing fasting. So we are seeing different development. Is it another strategy to push Sharia through? And do you think all this could gain ground in Southeast?
Yeah. What I understand is that let me just give people.
But remember that your
insight.
brother, Ilyasu Tochukwu, is the chief imam of Abuja
Yes,
Central
I know
Mosque.
Ilyasu Tochukwu, the chief imam of Abuja Central Mosque, is there. He has fulfilled that purpose of making millions, billions, trillions. They promised him trillions and billions. They have actually paid the money into his account. That's why he has actually, taken up that Islamic designation as chief imam of Central Mosque, Abuja. But let me just throw more light on what is going on in Bauchi State, Kano State, a situation whereby a man flogged his wife to death over religious activity, over religious belief, over unnecessary African Islam. I call it African Islam because this kind of Islam is never expressed or run within the enclavement where Islam actually sprang up historically. The Saudi we are talking about, they are the headquarters. In Saudi Arabia, there is the headquarters of Islam in the world. Yes, it is too obvious that they are the one hosting all the Hajj pilgrimage. All those people that are going to Hajj, those people that are going to Medina, they run that Muhammad run from Medina to Hijra or whatever they call it. I don't know what to understand. They are talking about Saudi Arabia. They are number one. Saudi Arabia is just like Jerusalem of Christians. The Christendom enjoy going to Jerusalem because on getting to Jerusalem, on getting to Israel, we see with our eyes the footmark of Jesus, his grave and other things.
So what Jerusalem is to Christian is
what Saudi Arabia is to Muslims.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is this. They are not beating their wives to death. That's where I'm going.
So it's a wrong approach.
It's a very wrong approach. It's an archaic approach. Everybody knows the meaning of archaism.
Derived by Muslims.
By Muslims in the northern Nigeria. Fulani Islam is quite different from UAE Islam. Fulani Islam's Islamic ideology is taking its course within archaism and unnecessary selfish ideology. Why could you whip your wife to death over that is tribalities?
So it's trivial.
It is trivial, if you ask me. It's very, very unimportant. What God wants is your heart. What God wants is your relationship with God, with man, not he. Ask me why. Your relationship with man matters. Because man, you have seen man. You're supposed to love man, appreciate man that you have seen with your two eyes. How are you telling that God that you are appreciating him when you have not seen him one day? You have not seen God, that's why you sleep with someone's wife. You have not seen God, that's why you abduct a young child of 10, force her into marriage, because you are not seeing God. You can tell me that you are loving God where you cannot love man you have seen with your eyes. All these preachings are within the biblical.
No, it's scriptural. What you are just saying is
scriptural.
scriptural.
Yes. So why is he beating his wife to death over fasting? Bible says, fast. Don't fight while fasting. Don't disfigure your face while fasting. Don't behave as if something is wrong, and don't be aggressive to follow man. Instead, fast and stay indoor, so that you will never pollute the fasting. But these people are committing more nefarious activities against Nigerians during their fasting period. Why beating your wife to death? Why are you forcing schools shut, closed down as a result of fasting? Why are you sending Hijbas to be ransacking all over Kanu cities to look for people that are drinking during fasting? Are you the same faith with those people that are drinking at their parlor? Don't you know that they have their different faith? Everybody has approach towards his own religion ideology. The Christian ideology I know is quite different from Islamic ideology. So what are we saying? What are we saying? Why must you use your own approach the same way for Christians? We are Christians, we drink, we enjoy ourselves, we do fast, and you don't expose your fasting by fighting fellow man, by fighting idol worshippers, fighting Muslims. We don't do that. The way Muslims are approaching their religion, verging their angers, being aggressive to Christians in Nigeria, actually indicates that they are asking the Christians for a serious confrontation. And I'm telling you, come what may, one day it is going to escalate. Muslims will actually know that the blood that runs within their system, it is the same red color. Their own is not green or blue. I'm telling you that Muslims are getting it wrong. Over the years, they have been subjected Christians in the north, mid-belt, even in the southern Nigeria, to this kind of, let me say, dehumanization, demoralization, and the humiliation of all sorts. It is the high time they imbibe what Islam of Saudi Arabia actually teach. It is not what Fulani, Timbuktu, Islam from Mali teach that matters here. It is only Saudi Arabia that the whole world know as a capital of Islam around the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arafumbechi.
You are welcome.
It's a good place to let it go. This is Extreme TV. We hope to have you next time. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.